What piece of crossbow hunting gear can you not hunt without? Is there a piece of gear, a type of gear? Now, some of us, maybe it's the crossbow, like Bunjie here, that sort of thing. But I'm going to talk to you about the one piece of gear that I will not hunt without. Welcome to Crossbow Appreciation Month. I am Rich Wilson, and this, as you know, is Bunjie. This is the time of year we wait all year for. Crossbow Appreciation Month. Only here on Death by Bunjie, 31 videos in 31 days, and it's intended to get you excited, right? Get you back in the groove, get you thinking about crossbow hunting, getting your crossbow out, taking a few shots in the backyard. This is the 60-yard backyard, by the way, and I got a visitor down there, a woodpecker that's working on that stump down at the bottom of the 60-yard backyard. So maybe he'll move when we get around to shooting or whatever. This year, Crossbow Appreciation Month is going to be a little bit different. This year, as many of you know, I am extremely busy and I don't have a lot of time. But I am still going to do Crossbow Appreciation Month. It's just going to be a little different this year. Bunjie and I are going to do things a little bit different this year. And what I mean by that is we're going to do some shorter videos. The idea is going to be to involve you even more. I'm going to basically do some concept videos, some ideas, some concepts that I'm thinking about, crossbow related topics, and I want your comments. I want your interaction in the comments about those topics. If you're lucky, there's going to be a couple of those rant style videos too. So the topic of this video, is there one piece of gear that you have to have and that you will not hunt without? There's a few of them in my book, right, that I've been hunting with. Now, ironically, Bunjie here is not one of them. The crossbow is not one of those pieces of gear. But you already knew that because you've seen me hunt with the Enforcer and have a great time with this more modern style of crossbow in the woods. So the crossbow itself, for me, is not crucial. It is not the one piece of gear that I have to have. There's a few other pieces of gear that I really won't hunt without. The concept, you know, I got to have some method of filming my own hunts. The Tacticam, we'll be talking about those during Crossbow Appreciation Month here. But, you know, that's a real handy thing. But I've hunted with and without those and with other methods of filming, that sort of thing. The Burris Oracle X, I got to have a Burris Oracle X, a range-finding scope. I am not going to hunt without a range-finding scope. But it doesn't have to be this one necessarily. But the concept, right, knowing those exact yardages and having that exact pinpoint accuracy is very important to me, right? It's a big part of the Death by Bunjie crossbow method. Speaking of the Death by Bunjie crossbow method, there is an audio book now available of the Death by Bunjie crossbow method. That was my second book that came out a couple years ago. And now I finally dictated the whole thing and got it uploaded. And you can now listen to that audio book on Amazon.com on Audible. Somebody asked me if it's on Apple or whatever. I don't know what that means, but you can listen to it on any phone you want and any device or whatever. It's on Audible, so download the app, get the book. It's a great read, though, seriously. Full of tips, everything I can give you to prepare you for the upcoming crossbow season. It's one of those things, somebody commented they were going to read that book every year before the crossbow season. It's a thick book, right? But it's still worth your time. What about arrows, right? Arrows are important. Yeah, they sure are. Arrows are like one of the most important things that we talk about here on Death by Bunjie. I think they're very important to our crossbow hunting. This is an AJ's custom arrow. It was the subject of another video. Spine index, pretty cool. These things fly great out of the SWAT X1, the Enforcer. But I don't think that any specific arrow is crucial. I don't think it's my absolute must-have piece of gear. You got to have an arrow, of course, but I've killed deer with these. Well, I haven't killed deer with these yet, but with a nice fancy arrow like this, the zombies and other arrows, I've used some dragon claws, right? We had a great time with those. But I had an old cheapo Easton arrow that I killed, I think, a dozen deer and hogs with. So, like, that thing was indestructible, and I just used it over and over and over. So you can do it with cheaper gear as well. You don't necessarily need the fancy arrows, although they are pretty nice, right? What about the broadheads? This is a field point, of course, but I do like the 150 grain Swhackers. But I've killed a lot of deer with some other ones, and the time may come when I go to another broadhead, right? I think there's applications for other broadheads as well, as long as they're mechanical. So what is it? What's my one piece of gear that I have to have that I will not hunt without? And you're looking at it right now. It is, in fact, the Burnt Coyote Luminok, right? In HD orange for me. I really like the HD orange. I can see it perfectly. I've been using these almost the entire time that I've been hunting with a crossbow for 15 years here. These nocks are my absolute favorite. I'm not going to use a crossbow that will not accept a Burnt Coyote Luminok. If it doesn't work with, and I'm not talking about other lighted nocks, right? I've tried some other brands, and the day may come when I try other brands, right? But the Burnt Coyote Luminok for me is crossbow hunting perfection, and I will not use a crossbow that doesn't use these. I've dabbled with the other ones, and I don't necessarily dislike them, but I've never seen the ease of use, the durability, the brightness, just the functionality that I get from the Burnt Coyote Luminok. I am not sponsored by anyone. I don't say that enough. Some people get sick of hearing that and everything. I know that. But the reality is, I want you to understand where I'm coming from with this. I don't have any sponsors. I'm not sponsored by Burnt Coyote. However, if you are interested in a Burnt Coyote Luminok, you can get 15% off with a coupon code. I reached out to them to get that coupon code so that you, friends of Bunjie, and I could get 15% off when we purchase Burnt Coyote Luminoks off their website, right? Go to luminok.com, Nock Selector Tool, get them right off there, enter coupon code Bunjie, B-U-N-J-I-E. It's the fancy French spelling. Not sponsored by them, but I do love them so much that I reached out and got that coupon code. So take advantage of that, right? If you're interested, this is the time of year to stock up on Luminoks. Go get yourself some nocks. So get the right ones. Use the Nock Selector Tool. But these, they got the fancy little groove in them there. You know, they're sort of a capture style nock. These work great. The GTCs, I think they are. They work great on the Enforcer, and they work great on these arrows. And they also work on the OB. I use the flat ones on the OB, right? I also don't do an awful lot without Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Should be sponsored by them, right? Kaboom, right there it is, the Burnt Coyote Luminok, my favorite piece of gear and the one that I will not hunt without. I'm not going to use a crossbow that won't use these. I'm getting stubborn in my old age, you know, and I like trying different stuff, and I think it's important for me on Death by Bunjie, if I want to move crossbow hunting forward, it's important to try more modern pieces of gear as they come out, you know, and test different things maybe here and there and see how they work with my crossbow hunting method. But I'm very curious to hear about your crossbow hunting method, right? What is your crossbow hunting method? Piece of gear that you can't go without. What is it? Leave a comment, let me know. Let's have a dialogue for not just today, but throughout Crossbow Appreciation Month. Get ready for 30 more videos here on Death by Bunjie in the next 30 days. August is a special time of year, only here on Death by Bunjie. Until next time, all hail Bunjie.